Welcome back to the Koshiyai channel. This is the start of the summer, which means it is actually the start of Pride Month, and we all know that that has actually always been a big subject, but it's now becoming bigger, and it's actually got, so to say, a collective group of friends that seem to be attaching themselves to it. So when we come back, we'll talk about what all is getting thrown in the bundle and maybe why they actually are getting thrown in the bundle and things to be watching out for in the future of this, all when we come back. So this week, we actually go back to, remember, what was it, the last couple weeks that we have been sitting there being told that Florida is now not only not good for the people who live in there that actually relate to in any way as LGBT or support in any way toward it, because it's hostile and it has actually become such a problem. They actually had travel warnings. I don't know about anybody that I've ever met or heard of, but this is all just propaganda, just talking about it, but nothing really seems to be happening outside the norm. Just because on the last videos we've addressed that what their definition of this really hateful, hazardous, and the warnings they're giving are due to the fact that they are sitting there saying the people who don't allow this to happen and are actual, they didn't say bigot, but they're basically, to sum it up, saying bigots, they're actually summing that up as people who don't want, and make it clear that they don't want to have their children taught about things that are way ahead of their time: sex, LGBT pushed subjects, transgendering, and exposed to that. And if they call BS on something that seems to be a hate crime, you are now sitting in a spot to be called worth saying that you should not travel there because it is unsafe for the people who are on the opposing side, who are on this agenda push. So the good news is, though, that they actually are going to fight back. They're going to sit there and say, oh, you know what? Let's just make up this complete BS about Florida being this dangerous place to be, and let's just push that in the propaganda. Let's just keep that going, and let's just really sit there and let that stew for a little while. And then guess what? Just like every epic movie, they come in and they say, we won't take it anymore, we need a hero. So guess who the hero gets to be? Oh, I don't know about anybody out there, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who saw, here comes the major stomping victory that is going to say, oh, let's go against DeSantis. Let's go against the state themselves that is so terrible, and we're going to change it. And then they go have these stupid freaking parades and go around and just start acting as if they're fighting back and they're regaining this safe territory. So here's Florida with the fake news on first starting the fire, and then secondly acting like they're the ones putting it out. Have not yet heard of any real major incidents. Seems pretty docile down there. And as far as I know, people who actually live there that are homosexual, who are these people who are getting told that they can't be there because it's so dangerous, are enjoying it. Seems to be the typical sunny Florida that we all love to go see on summer vacation in Disney World. Disney World's doing all their own damage to themselves. It's not the people who actually stand up for children and have morals and are fighting against these transgender. It is actually damage within themselves. So what do? They do damage control by telling us, oh, it's so hostile, and let's go right. Ironic, in the nick of time. When does this time happen to be that they go save the day? Oh, wait, to kick off the Pride Month. And here's another hint: when Disney World gets their most vacationing time. Am I the only one who sees this connection here? I don't think so. And so this is exactly how come I'm here to tell you this is a situation you have to be prepared for. The agenda is, let's kick off Pride Month, and let's do it with a bang. So here goes. Pride Month is now like a situation they say, I am on one side, and no matter who and what has anything to say other than me, LGBT, now Q plus or whatever, you lose. That's it. That's the basic gist of it. We give Memorial Day, one day, Memorial Day. And every time they want to actually sit there and push at pretty much all cost, they're going to make sure they have enough time to really build the story, feed the story, and then continue to act as if they built the plot, built the problem, built the hero, and act like we're buying it. It's an agenda. It never stopped being agenda, always has been agenda, always will be agenda, but this time it is getting more and more on the line. It is getting more and more strategic, and is getting to actually just very, very terrible depths, because you have people that are, sitting there trying to actually fight it. Have you guys ever heard of this guy? I don't know, maybe if you have, maybe if you haven't, this guy named Elon Musk. He has a penny or two, and he actually has some pull. Go figure. He buys Twitter. Well, apparently they don't like to have free speech on Twitter. So he buys it and he goes to push this. I'm going to allow what people want to say, and I'm not going to actually censor it. Go figure. Matt Walsh, he at this start to Pride Month, he is actually out there speaking the truth. He's actually fighting for exposing truth, he's risking his own life, and he's not backing down. They know that. So what do? They censor him. Censor him on the very platform, Twitter, that they said they would not. Now, do I think that this was something that was directly from Elon Musk? No, I'm not saying that at all. I don't even know, and I don't even really 100% care, because I hear Elon Musk saying time after time he will correct. He will, at any cost, whether he loses money or not, he is going to make sure free speech stays just that, because that is a constitutional right everybody has. So he's doing the best he can. And you go, well, then how can someone with that much pull, how can a company that big actually not do exactly what they're saying? They're clearly saying they're going to do it, and then it doesn't happen. And that's where it gets really, really, open your eyes, guys. This is deeper than you actually think it is. It is actually a bigger fight. The pockets get deeper on all these people who are just sick enough to sit there and say they have the best interest for your kids, and then turn around like Target. And I'm not even gonna go, the list is too long to go into, but let's just use them as the most reasonable situation. And they actually have deep pockets. But it's not about that. You know who's actually pulling the strings? It's the guy who they can afford to say, oh, I didn't know that was just, I'm at the top of these tiers of this hierarchy in these big companies, but yet they're just going to pretend like they don't know and let it slide, see how it rides. And they're either going to reward the person who, quote unquote, slipped it through, blocked it, whatever it was, whether it was, I don't know how Matt Walsh's complete platform is getting erased off of, when we said the exact platform was going to be used by Twitter is going to be not censored, and all of a sudden can't access it. I honestly don't believe that it is happening from top tier people, that the people who actually are the ones giving the interviews and whatnot, the Elon Musk. And so what ends up happening is it gets buried in this midsection, and there's huge midsection in these huge companies. So if that's happening there, you go, okay, what does this really have to do? That's, I'm not Matt Walsh, I'm not Elon Musk. A lot of us still don't even use Twitter and rely on it. So what's this have to do with us? Well, it has a lot to do with us. And let me kind of explain the oldest trick in the book, and they use it time after time. They're going to use this to just distract anybody who has a kid, anybody who has anything that has been like, oh, that's a quick sleight of the hand. You go, hey, look at that over there. That's shiny. Did you notice it? While you're doing something on this side. It's the oldest trick in the book. It's what every magician gets us to actually fall for the cheap trick. And so they're gonna use this, and we've already seen the preset in the last couple months, but especially last couple weeks. It is not coincidence that they have a Jordan Neely, they have a man who was shot by two black guys who happen to be white. Bury it. What do you bury that with? If it's not racism, it is going to be pride, hate. It is going to be immigration. It is going to be inflation and dealing with the debt ceiling. They're just going to flood until no voice can be heard except theirs. And that's how they're going to sit there and get people like Tucker Carlson and people like Daily Wire and us to just hopefully get drowned out. So be prepared for that, because this is the message out of anything I want you to hear. It's not about what you're seeing on the news. And you have to understand, don't look at that during this time. And this, sadly enough, goes for most of the time. But this month has been set up. Last couple years, we've watched it. It's been the sleight of hand. We watched George Floyd's, the Black Lives Matters, the riots. It was nonstop. Rush it, rush it, rush it, rush it, rush it, blitz it. Call it what you want to call it. We've seen it every freaking year to set up where they have essentially, we've watched all the news say how the world is crazy. We're all hateful. It is out of control. It has been nonstop, and someone must do something about it. So all of a sudden, the fake news comes in with the hero. If I can tell you anything to say, I don't care if you heard nothing out of this. Be prepared to say Pride Month is going to be the sleight of hands. Keep your eye out for it during this time. Things that kind of seem to be like, oh, I didn't really hear anything after that. I heard it, but then it kind of went away. Be prepared for that, because they're going to be dancing around and just the shuffle cup situation between the Pride Month celebrations and what this country needs to do, and getting rid of things like Florida and all their hate and just correcting that. And they're going to be the hero. Immigration is going to be used in that tug of war. And then you actually have whatever doesn't fit in that, racism, because then you got to have somebody dependent on when it doesn't actually work, or if they have somebody who questions it and it reaches past that wall, then it's just they're a bigot, and let's tell them we need to sit there and say everybody loves everybody. Here's Pride Month. Go have another Blue's Clues telling you that everybody is just a loving family, and apparently families are made out of two dads or two moms, and no, it is just side. It's sick. Don't fall for it. And if you really could do yourself a favor, if you could do anybody you're talking to, your surrounding, your community a favor, is to not fall for that, because that's going to prep how much the gain in the movements get made, or how much you prep to say, we can't win everything, and we believe freedom is freedom and everybody has their right, but it shouldn't be stolen. It should be earned. And it's things like don't support Bud Light. Those lists go on. Target. Just don't let them pull the wool over your eyes. Be prepared to, whenever you see a major bizarre story, know that it is bizarre. And it's probably just a story, and there's more to it. And keep your eye out for something that is getting a little bit buried. So until next time, we love your feedback. We love to hear the comments that you guys have, whether we agree with them or not. This is important subjects. Just don't waste our time, and we'll try to get back with you. So leave a comment and hit the like button, and thank you for watching.